Oh my god, I really hope Jake Duran's not watching this. This is not the room that I usually film in because I moved into my new flat. As you can probably tell by the title of this video, and if you've watched some of my previous videos, you'll probably already know some of this. Over the summer I was on a Universal summer program, which basically meant that I worked at Universal Studios Orlando for the entire summer. So basically I was also a Yummy Jobs content creator. So Yummy Jobs is the company that sends us. They also run the Disney College program for the UK applicants. I was one of their content creators, so I just kind of posted a lot of content. Oh, there's a fly kind of right here. I posted a lot of content for them over the summer, mainly on my Instagram. So this video is just kind of like everything you'd kind of want to know, or like the basics anyway, of the Universal program. You don't work in the Universal Orlando theme parks. Obviously it's the Universal Studios Orlando Resort. So the resort as a whole obviously is comprised, well not obviously because you might not know this, is comprised of the 3 theme parks. So they call their water park a theme park. I don't really say it's a theme park, but okay. Universal Studios, which is the original park. And then there's Islands of Adventure, which is more like known for having like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in it. It's also comprised of some hotels. I cannot remember the exact number because they're opening new ones and I've confused myself. I could just look it up, but I'm on a tight scale filming this video. There's Portofino, Royal Pacific, Hard Rock, Sapphire Falls, Cabana Bay, Aventura, and Endless Summer Surfside and Endless Summer Dockside. There was 5 of the hotels that we were able to work in. We couldn't work at Aventura just because it was newer, and we couldn't work at Endless Summer because the Surfside portion of that opened when we were actually over there already, and Dockside isn't open yet. So you're an employee of Universal Resort. First most you're an employee of Loews Hotels. So the program typically runs from the start of June to the start of September. So for our dates were the 8th of June to the 4th of September. No, yeah, we all flew out on the 8th, and then we started work I think on the 10th because it was a Saturday we flew. We finished working on the 4th of September, but you could stay. So basically the way that your visa works, because it's a J1 visa, you get a 30-day travel period after the end of your employment. So we had the hotel rooms until the 6th that we stayed in, and then you could just do whatever from there. So I stayed until the 7th because I booked the wrong flight home. Yep. And because I had to get back to uni because my uni started back quite early. Scottish unis do start back earlier than English, and mine just happens to be the uni that starts back the earliest in all of Scotland for some reason, which was a bit annoying. Some people, for example, after we finished, went on and travelled to like LA and like Nashville and stuff like that, so kind of jealous. Jake Duran, Georgia Goodall, I hate you. So it was like I was back at uni for 2 weeks and there was still people like still people, aka Jake and Georgia, still on holiday. So there's 3 kind of positions amongst those hotels. There's like food and bev, which is a non-tipped position, so you're not going to be a server. Like, don't go with the intention of being like, hey, I'm going to be like serving and dining, because that's not how it works. Typically you'll be in like a quick service, like grab and go sort of place, or in my case I was in a restaurant called Amatista, but we were non-tipped roles, so that's like bussing tables, which they call busser, which is like cleaning tables. Just resetting them sort of thing is quite easy. There's not much to it. Running, which is like when you take the food from like the kitchen to a set table, so you need to know your table numbers, you've got to carry large trays. It took me a long time to be able to carry a tray to the point where it was just pointless. Like, I didn't learn to carry a tray until like my last week. I probably could have done it, but I'm really weak, I'm weak-willed, and I just didn't have the energy. I didn't have the confidence to start picking up massive trays heavily until Stephen, who's in one of my previous videos, made me cry, so then I started picking up tables. I think it was just over $12 an hour, which is really good, like, considering. And it is non-tipped, although in the restaurant I worked in, basically we would get tipped out, so the servers would give us like maybe $1 or $2 if we'd done a good job, if we'd been cleaning their tables well, if we'd been taking their food out well, which was good. You could be a host. Now, a host is arguably the best position. Being a host, you basically are just checking guests in, taking them to their table, and that's it. Like, you just make sure that everything's nice, you ask them how their day's been, you just greet them. A greeter, a seater, host, whatever you want to call it. It was good fun. We had these things at Amethyst. This is so off topic. This is called All You Need to Know, but you really don't need to know this. Amethysta had these mints, right? And I was obsessed with these mints to the point where when I left, I got given like a massive like bag of them, and it's been the best day of my life. I actually, as bad as it sounds on my desk, have a wee jar of them. They're so class. Look at these wee things. Look at it, it's so cute. Anyway, so these mints are like absolutely insane. Could just be a pool attendant, which was like mostly working in the towel hut, I believe. I didn't really listen to Jake when he spoke about it. I maybe should have, but I didn't really ask them questions on it. And then there was lifeguarding. Lifeguarding is obviously very straightforward in the sense that it's lifeguarding. Everyone knows what lifeguards do. Obviously they had to do extra things. They did things called like VATs, which are like tests they had to do like every couple of days maybe. You'd do it at random. They'd put like a drowning child in the pool. It wasn't a real child, but you get the gist. Obviously lifeguard is like a lot more physically demanding in the sense that you're in the heat more and that you are having to swim and pick up heavy things when you're doing your VATs and stuff. But obviously I wouldn't go to say that food and beverage isn't physically demanding at all. Like the blisters on my feet because I didn't have the right shoes at first were horrific. I cut my arm at one point, I got put in a bandage. That was incredible. It was good times. It wasn't even a big cut, but because it was done in work, security like almost started greeting about it, and they were like, oh, you need to put a plaster on it, and I was like, oh, I'm allergic to plasters. Sorry, I've got a tub of ice cream sitting here because I've got to put it away and it's going to melt, so yes, that's pretty much like the roles. So the accommodation, I had a message me about the accommodation, and there's not really much I can say about it without sounding like I'm complaining. It was for sleeping. I did not spend a lot of my time in the accommodation other than sleeping. You get put in a room. It's like a hotel room with 2 double beds and a sofa bed, which sounds small, but it's actually a pretty big room, so it's all right. You get put with two other people. Sometimes there's 2 to a room, but most of our program was 3. So before the program, you could request with who you wanted to share with. I didn't know anyone, so I wasn't going to request to share with anyone. So I didn't. I was put in a room with Amy and Vic, who are in quite a few of my videos from the summer actually. Yeah, so it was nice. Like the 3 of us got along really well when we first met. We were worried we wouldn't get along when we met, but it was nice. It's really close to the resort. Like it took us like 15 minutes to get to City Walk. The work itself was pretty simple. Your days were half days usually. Well, in my case they were anyway. So you'd work a morning shift or a PM shift. It's about 8 hours. Depends if I was a busser or runner. If I was a host it could sometimes be a bit shorter. You finish when the restaurant shuts. Whereas bussers you need to wait on the last table and runners you need to wait on the last food order. Benefits, the benefits. Yes, there's benefits I hear. So we, because you are technically a Universal Orlando employee, because you work on site, you do get a Universal Orlando ID card. Now the issue with that is you don't get it until a couple weeks into your program, but there was an issue somewhere along the line with ours this year, so we didn't get it until about week 6 of 12, which was quite irritating because we really wanted to go in the parks but we couldn't. But it just makes, when you get it, it makes it so much better. If you've already got a social security, you'll get yours quicker than those who have to go get a social security. Yummy Jobs walk you through that when you arrive there, so that's nothing you need to really be worried about when you're like applying or if you've been accepted. We kind of found that the Universal ID was really good in the sense that it wasn't just the 2 theme parks. You can get Volcano Bay, but you can't get it in the summer because it's like blacked out dates for employees, so we weren't able to get it just because we obviously were a summer program. We couldn't visit Volcano Bay. You get really good discount. I can't remember what it was exactly because it changed depending on what place you went to, I'm pretty sure. But like I got like tons of merch. Like I've got a really nice Jurassic Park blanket. I got a couple of jackets. I like other bits and bobs. I'll stick some photos around here, potentially if I can be bothered. A lot of us didn't know this because they don't actually tell you this, I don't think, but there's a part of Universal behind, I don't know if I'm allowed to say what it is, right, staff discount store. It is a store where you can literally get t-shirts for as little as 30 cents. So me and Vic went in one day, and basically everything they have is already reduced in there, but anything, the price tag is 70% off that. So me and Vic saw a Jurassic World t-shirt. They obviously didn't want to sell them anymore, and it was $1 because it was a kid's extra large, right? So we had a bit of a laugh, like, could we fit in a kid's extra large? Yes, very well actually. It was $1, and when the guy rung it up it was only 30 cents. How good is that? So I literally got a t-shirt for 30 cents. And then I got another one for like $4. It was great. Or you get discounts on everywhere in City Walk. I got a tattoo in City Walk, which was meant to be $175, but we get it for $100 with a staff discount, which is quite good, to be honest. For what it is, the size of the tattoo, it is overpriced in my opinion, but you're paying for the experience more than you're just paying for just a tattoo. The one thing I will say is, if you're applying to the programme, find the group chats. We had a group chat of people who were on the programme. I think I knew someone who, I knew someone who had been accepted, so I messaged them like, hey, can you add me in? But you'll usually be able to find the group chat somewhere on the internet. If you search it, you'll find it somewhere. Someone suggested like doing like t-shirts before we went, like a kind of like, we're on the programme t-shirts. That's why I'm wearing this one. This was made by the one and only Jake Duran. If you know me, you know that Jake Duran is the bane of my existence. Really cannot stand him. Just kidding. Jake Duran is one of my closest friends. Me and Jake both did the content creator thing together. I would die for Jake Duran. We didn't get Disney tickets, but we all got an annual pass at the Florida resident rate, because we technically were Florida residents for 3 months because we were paying Florida tax. So it was a bit of a hassle to get, because there was a whole like, are you or are you not technically a resident? It was a bit of like a hit and miss, but we got our tickets anyway. Everyone got the gold pass, which is like a seasonal pass, but I got the platinum pass simply because I'm coming back in December with my family and I need it because of Christmas. There's blackout dates on it. The Universal Pass, I forgot to mention, also lets you go to Busch Gardens or SeaWorld for free. I didn't go to SeaWorld, but we went to Busch Gardens once. It takes a while to get there, it's a full day thing, and you want it to be good weather, because if it rains a lot, the rides don't work at Busch Gardens, and it is heavily rides. So yeah, so if you're wanting to apply, like the stages are just basically like, there's an online application which is now closed for next summer, but usually opens around July, I believe. There's a Skype interview if you're successful with your pre-screen application. If you're successful from that, you get a rejection, or if you're successful, you get an acceptance email. If you're rejected, you get a rejected email. But that's not the end of the line necessarily. Yummy Jobs will offer you potentially a couple of different programs you could do. Or I was lucky enough to, even though I was rejected the first time round, I emailed in January like, hey, did any spaces open up? And some spaces had opened up and I ended up in the program. So just pester people. No, I'm kidding on. I was actually offered my position really late, but I'm so glad I did it. Like, it opened so many doors for me. I had originally applied for the Disney program but didn't get it, so I went to Universal instead. But I currently have a final interview for the Disney one this year. So if you're out there this summer on the Universal program, I potentially might be out there too on the Disney one. Victoria is doing it again. I lived with her. She is so cute, so bless her. Love her so much, miss her. Loving you, missing your face from the shot. So I think I've covered a lot of things in this video. I'm kind of like having to leave now, or just end it here, even if I haven't, because I've got to go to work. Probably something I'm going to do a video on at some point soon, working while at uni. Program costs are on the Yummy Jobs website. I don't know them exactly. It's maybe a good idea to have a look at them. I personally made back what I paid and made more. People don't always do that, but I did. It's my alarm telling me I've got to go get ready for work. If you want to hear more about like typical schedule, I've got a video up that's like a day in the life of a PM shift. I've got a video with Stephen talking more about our job in detail. Or just message me on Instagram. My DMs are always open. I'm always floating about. It might take me a while to reply because I don't always see my Insta replies, but I'll get back to you. I've had a couple of people message me on there already. Some people had their pre-screen and their Skype interviews today, so I hope that went well for everyone. But yeah, so whether you get rejected or accepted, you're gonna love the program. You truly will make some great friends for life. Stephen, Maria, Caitlin, my buddies. Yeah, so like Jake and Georgia I've already seen, and like met up with them, not purposely. I had to be seeing them at the Disney interviews. It was such a shame. You do make friends for life. Like, I'm planning seeing Steven soon. So that's pretty much everything you kind of really basically need to know about the Universal program. Like, you can get days off, which is good. Like, I got my birthday off. So yeah, you can request days off. Stephen requested a weekend off once I went to Miami, so that's an idea for you. Like, it's a really good program. The dates are so good, the people are so good, it's so flexible. Yeah, so I'd really recommend applying for it. Check out the Yummy Jobs website and have a look at what else they've got. Okay, I need to go because my ice cream's melted. Goodbye.